Hello, it's Randi Rhodes. Here's a clip from our show, and go to randyrhodes.com for the whole thing and a podcast. Buy a stinking podcast.
Mary had a little man.
The fault. We believe that all men are created equal.
To the magnificent mosaic that is America.
From radio beacon to radio beacon. I have a dream today. Change has come to America.
Believe me.
Knock, knock. Who's there?
It's a figment of your imagination.
Randi Rhodes Show.
Turn up your mind.
What do you think is the main inaccuracy or the main lie that's being told that you feel like you can correct?
That the president didn't know what was going on. President Trump knew exactly what was going on. He was aware of all of my movements. I wouldn't do anything without the consent of Rudy Giuliani or the president.
In terms of the president and what he has said about you, he said about you and Mr. Fruman, Igor Fruman, I don't know those gentlemen, I don't know about them, I don't know what they do. You're saying that was not a true statement from the president?
He lied.
He lied. Well, there's a new one. Donald Trump lied. Wow, I'm stunned. I'm shocked, right?
What conversations have you had with Lev Parnas and Igor Fruman?
I don't know those gentlemen.
He knew exactly who we were. He knew exactly who I was, especially because I interacted with him at a lot of events.
Did you ever talk to this guy, Les Parnas, or whoever his name is?
You know, it's possible, but I haven't gone through all my phone records. I don't really recall.
Do you know Congressman Devin Nunes?
Yes, I do.
A Justice Department spokesman told Politico yesterday that the president never directly asked Barr to launch any type of investigation into Biden.
Mr. Barr had to have known everything. I mean, it's impossible.
I never discussed the issue of the Bidens with President Zelensky.
Vice President Pence was tasked at that meeting with getting President Zelensky to announce investigations of Joe Biden specifically.
Yes.
Oh! Rico. That's everybody. And you know what's really sickening? Just as a little point of to show you where to pay attention to the lying that's being done to you in your own home, in your own bedroom, in your own living room, in your own kitchen. Oh, my God.
Oh, for God's sake.
Sean Hannity knows Lev Parnas because every time Rudy Giuliani was on Fox News, Lev Parnas was sitting in the studio. So for him to sit there and go, you know this guy Les Parnas, whoever he is, he knew him too. Everybody is lying to you on that fake news channel. Everyone is lying to you from the administration. Bill Barr hasn't said one word. You know what's really interesting? Ukraine finally opens up an investigation into, something that the American people might care about. And that is into the stalking and the threatening of Marie Yovanovitch. They opened up an investigation today into all of the threatening behavior that was, sent her way to disparage her, to scare her, to intimidate her, to drive her out of Ukraine. This is amazing.
We just got a statement from the Interior Ministry of Ukraine saying they are opening a criminal investigation into the possible surveillance of Ambassador Yovanovitch. Quite interesting. I'm actually getting a lot of this right now. I'll read it to you, parts of the statement. They said that they're basing all this on the materials that were made public by the House Permanent Select Committee on Intelligence. Obviously, all those text messages and similar communications that were published over the past 24 hours. And then there's a key part of the statement that I want to read to you. It says, Ukraine's position is not to interfere in the domestic affairs of the United States of America. However, the published references cited by the media contain a possible violation of the law of Ukraine and the Vienna Convention on Diplomatic Relations, which protects the rights of a diplomat on the territory of a foreign country.
Whoops. Now you got yourself an investigation in Ukraine. These people are so dirty and Donald Trump just sat in the Oval again today, just denied knowing Parnas again.
Well, I don't know him. I don't know Parnas other than I guess I had pictures taken, which I do with thousands of people, including people today that I didn't meet, but just met him. I don't know him at all. Don't know what he's about. Don't know where he comes from. Know nothing about him. I can only tell you this thing is a big hoax. It's a big hoax. We call it, this is the current hoax. We've gone through the Russian witch hunt. We've gone through a lot of them from probably before I came down the escalator, but certainly since I came down the escalator, you take a look at what's happened. And in the meantime, our country, it doesn't matter what he's trying to probably make a deal for himself. I don't even know who this man is, other than I guess he attended fundraisers, so I take a picture with him. I'm in a room, I take pictures with people. I take thousands and thousands of pictures with people all the time, thousands during the course of a year. And oftentimes I'll be taking a picture with somebody. I'll say, I wonder what newspaper that one's going to appear in. No, I don't know him. Perhaps he's a fine man. Perhaps he's not. I know nothing about him. But I can tell you this.
More than just taking pictures with the president. He says that
I don't know him. I don't believe I've ever spoken to him.
On the phone with Giuliani, and he said,
I don't believe I've ever spoken to him. I meet thousands of people. I meet thousands and thousands of people as president. I take thousands of pictures. And I do it openly, and I do it gladly. And then if I have a picture where I'm standing with somebody at a fundraiser, like I believe I saw a picture with this man, but I don't know him. I had never had a conversation that I remember with him. So certainly, let me just tell you, you just have to take a look at the polls. Quiet. You just have to take a look at the pictures. You just have to take a look at the polls. You see, I don't need anybody's help. We're doing phenomenally well. The economy is the best it's ever been. We've never had an economy like this in history. We just made the 2 best trade deals in the history of our country. We are doing well. I don't need the help of a man that I never met before, other than perhaps taking a picture at a fundraiser or something, if that's where we stand.
This letter that you gave to the House, the first line in it, which is a letter from Rudy Giuliani to President-elect Zelensky, says, I am private counsel to President Donald J. Trump. Just to be precise, I represent him as a citizen, not as President of the United States. This is quite common under American law. Duties and privileges of a president and private citizen are not the same. So he is making a very clear point that he's not representing the interests of the United States writ large, of American national security. He's representing the interests of Donald J. Trump.
That was always the point.
That was always made.
That was always clear. He always made it clear that he doesn't represent wherever we went. He said, I don't represent the government. I represent the President of the United States.
So anything Rudy Giuliani wanted the government of Ukraine to do, that wasn't official U.S. policy. That was a personal benefit to the President of the United States.
Well, you know, when I was doing it, I thought it was all in the same. But obviously now, as I could see with the situation the way it is, I mean, it was strictly for him. But again, I thought he was our leader. He's the chief. He's the president. And it was all about 2020 to make sure he had another 4 years. And
look at the polls.
But that's how you personally viewed it, that this is about 2020 to help him get the next 4 years.
That was the way everybody viewed it. I mean, that was the most important thing, is for him to stay on for another 4 years and keep the fight going. I mean, there was no other reason for doing it.
The administration says, and Jim Jordan in Congress, and a lot of the president's defenders in Congress say, the president was deeply concerned about corruption in Ukraine.
Like I said, I'm not going to go into personal attacks on anybody here, but they all know. They go home at night. They all have a conscience. I've been there when they liked him, when they didn't like him, when they talk behind his back, when they agree with him and disagree with him. And to see the things that they're doing now and just blindly I mean, it's a sham. It's a shame. And
they know the real story.
Absolutely. They all know. They were all a part. I mean, they all know.
Did the president care about corruption in Ukraine?
I mean, you'd have to ask him. But as far as I know, the only thing we cared about, and we were the team, was to get Zelensky or Poroshenko or somebody to make a press release, an announcement into the Biden investigation.
I don't know him. Maybe he's a client of Rudy's. I don't know. Meanwhile, Victoria Tensing, she's got voicemails that she's calling him, and she goes to see Bill Barr about getting Firtash off the hook. Can you get him off the hook one more for old time's sake? I can't do it, Sally. I can't do it. Go to RandiRhodes.com for the whole thing and a podcast. Buy a stinking podcast.